Welcome back into another episode of Committed. I'm your host, Jake Lowreck, on the show where we interview the incoming class of 2024 to hear about why they chose Neumann University, their major, and what they're ultimately excited about attending Neumann University in the fall of 2020. Today, we have another guest, Ethan Graci from Springfield, PA. Welcome to the show, Ethan.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good, surviving quarantine.
Yeah, there you go. Can't ask for much more than that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So to start off, tell me where you're from and what high school you went to.
I am from Springfield, PA, and I've been in Springfield kind of my whole life. So I also ended up going to Springfield High School and should have been graduating from there, but with all this going on.
Hey, you're still graduating, just not maybe a different
Exactly,
format.
exactly.
Tell me what were you involved in high school from Springfield?
Uh, wasn't really into sports in high school. I was into them as a kid, but at the Springfield High School, we have the Steve Stefani Dance Marathon, who was a teacher at our high school, and all of the proceeds go to pediatric cancer. So I was involved in that during all 4 years. I started in the merchandising committee. You can't do a committee freshman year, but for sophomore and junior year, I was on the merchandising committee, and then I was on the fundraising committee. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome. That's really cool to hear. Tell me about your experience over the last couple years at Springfield and how that has kind of changed in the last 2, 3 months here in quarantine.
well, something that's definitely changed is wanting to go back to school, even though of how much we always complained and everything. Never would think we would want to go back, but here we are.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
I know you're good. Um, yeah, just a couple things that were taken away was like senior prom, and then I'm an honors art student, so we were working on that most of the year, and the celebration of the arts we call it that ended up getting canceled because that was going to be, I think, in like a week actually, and yeah, it's just all kind of crumbled down from there.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a time where you're seeing so many students and seniors, at the collegiate and high school level, seeing their
Exactly.
their big moments of excitement kind of not crumble, but almost like taken away in a sense.
Right.
Um, and, and it's unfortunate, but there's always ways to find the positives in that. And has Springfield High School and have you guys seen that positive sense come about during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, they definitely have been doing their best because they actually sent out today, like how I was just saying, the celebration of the arts was canceled. They sent it out like a video montage of what would have been in the show. So the teachers put that together. That was really nice. Um, and then we're going to be picking up our cap and gowns next week, I believe. And then June 4th, they're planning on coming to our houses and like dropping off our diplomas and kind of giving like a personalized graduation. So they're doing really good with trying to keep us still motivated and all.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting to hear how they're doing a personalized graduation. That's pretty special,
Yeah.
right?
Like I think they're gonna like split it up because there's 300 some kids in our graduating class. So like I guess like principal, vice principal, assistant principal are gonna be like taking different, or all three are going. I'm not really sure.
Mhm. Sure. Well, we're living in a society of adapting right now, right?
Right, exactly, exactly.
Great. Let's pivot now towards a Newman in your intended major. So you're graduating from Springfield, you're closing one chapter of the book, opening the next,
Right.
and you're coming in as a CDM major. What drove that interest?
Well, what definitely helped me with my interest was my friend Elizabeth Cavalier. Because she is in the same major, and we met over at our job, Rolling Green, and we're in the food industry over there. And uh, we, what happened? It was it was like a month into me meeting Elizabeth, and I had always been into music, of course, but we ended up. She took me to my first floor show, and it was Demi Lovato, and then it just kind of spiraled into there, falling more and more into the whole program of the music industry, and like getting down to the details and everything. And she talked like about Neumann, took me up there to see it, the campus and everything. And I know I wanted to do commuting because save some money on that.
Mhm.
And I had something else, but now I forget.
All good. First and foremost, Elizabeth Cavalier is amazing. She's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've known her for the 2 years I've been at Newman, and she's one of our music directors with WNUW. So
Right, right.
she, if you're looking to get into music, her and the music team at Newman and WNUW are the place to be.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it.
Awesome. Tell me, what in what ways did Springfield High School prepare you to kind of get introduced to the music industry with Elizabeth's help, of course, but what ways did they prepare you for this career and major choice as you enter Newman?
Honestly, Springfield didn't really do much with it. They were an amazing help with applying to Newman and that whole progress. But like I took a what was the class called? It was like a producing class in a way, but we didn't
Mhm,
really do much with it as like what real experience would have been in the music industry,
mhm.
which of course you figure that.
Yeah,
But yeah, they definitely helped with the process of getting into Newman. They were amazing with that.
and that's always step one, right? You can't
Exactly.
decide a major until you get into a
Right.
university. Yeah. So tell me, what about the music industry interests you? Like, how did Elizabeth hook you to the music industry?
Well, she started out because I had gone to concerts before, but I always went for like the cheaper options because I was tight on money. But then once I got into the floor, it was just the whole experience changed and you get really personal with it more. And then I don't even know how many concerts since me and Elizabeth have been to together. And I go to concerts with my other friends. Um, but yeah, it's just like the whole momentum of getting ready for a concert, going to a concert, the experience of being there, and then music in general, like Billboard charts every couple weeks. And I don't know, it's just something happy, make you
Yeah.
look forward to something.
And describe that feeling of being at a concert, whether you're up in the upper level seating or you're down in the pit, wherever you are in the stadium or venue. Describe that feeling.
It's just like especially when the artist is coming on and it's like pitch black, they got the suspenseful music going and everything. It's just like a moment to be in, kind of to put it.
Sure. And what's your favorite part of that music and venue atmosphere?
I think making friends there because you go into a place with a couple friends and you get introduced to at least 10 that you don't know. And especially if you're going to a general admission concert and you're waiting early and start talking to the people in line, it's just all kind of getting to know each other and people that you wouldn't see on a daily day.
And that atmosphere is almost like not able to be replicated at like you can't go to Target and be like, "Oh,
Right.
I'm gonna find these concert goers friends." You know what I mean? Like it's just that I don't mean that in like a negative way, but like it's just a different atmosphere, if that
Right.
makes
Because you're
sense.
all there for the same reason.
You guys are all so passionate about the same artist or style of music, and I think that's what really leads into the positive
Yeah. Yeah.
experience. And then tell me how many concerts you've been to, and then, of course, how many concerts you've been to with Elizabeth, right?
Right. Oh, hold on. I have my notes somewhere. My first ever concert was Bon Jovi as a kid. My
Oh, that's a
dad
good
took
one.
me to that, and I have up to 33. But
Wow.
before I met Elizabeth, there was only 9, and that was like only in 2017 probably. So ever since there, it kind of tripled.
Yeah, I know Elizabeth loves concerts,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so tell me, Bon Jovi, that's like an awesome first concert. Tell me about that
Oh yeah.
experience.
Well, I don't remember much, but I do remember. I don't know why it's so vivid, but I was wearing like this blue Spider-Man shirt, and then we had like these Bon Jovi pins, and they were like these little like like a red like angry face, but like an emoji type style.
Mhm.
And I think it was at Camden. So we were on the lawn, and that was just a great experience because like the rock kind of style, especially for your first concert, surrounded by a bunch of adults, and it was just yeah, really good.
And you can't be going with your family for your first concert, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And then tell me your favorite concert experience or maybe your favorite artist at a concert.
I think I gotta go with Kesha because she really keeps you like activated into the concert, and she really just puts on a overall show, especially with her music on top of that.
Mhm.
And she's just always about like being you. So when you're at that concert, you really feel yourself kind of in a way, and it's just like a refreshing feeling.
Yeah,
And yeah,
and s for so many individuals, music is such a release from the everyday stressors in life. Is that does music have that impact on you?
oh, definitely, definitely. Um, like whenever I'm like nervous about something, I usually go to Kesha. I put on like "Learn to Let Go" or "Let Them Talk" because it's kind of about like you shouldn't be worried about this, but you are right now. So just learn to live in the moment and do the best you can with it.
And how has your appreciation for music changed over the past couple months, years, however long of a distance you wanna relate to in terms of appreciation for lyrics and melodies and beats and, stuff like that?
It definitely changed more so with like I'm used to be more like pop and like just like having a good time, which I still do, of course. But
Mhm.
like I got more into alternative and listening deeper into the lyrics and everything. And I just like went into like a more calm type of style, I guess, in a way.
And I gotta ask the million-dollar question here, it's been on my mind since you mentioned Elizabeth. Elizabeth loves Fletcher. Have you gone to a concert with Fletcher and Elizabeth?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we went like she just dropped her EP a little while back. You ruined New York City for me. And of course, Elizabeth, me, Piper, Erin, uh I might be blanking on other people, but we ended up going to her concert in New York for the You Ruined New York City for me. And we ended up meeting her that night. And we were out there for a while afterwards. And I had work at 6 a.m. We got home around 3, 4 a.m. So, yeah,
Well,
definitely on the Fletcher train.
and one of the beautiful things about Newman and Newman Media is the opportunity to, have a show on our radio station, WNUW. Is that one thing that you're looking forward to or, interested in partaking in?
I definitely want to do as much as I can because I still am in the questioning of what I want to do in the music industry. So I'm going to take as much experience as I can and unravel that into senior year and kind of see where I want to go with my path. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do as much as I can, including the WNMW, correct?
WNUW, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome that, our station ID has, Newman and you in it.
Yeah,
Not many
right, right.
universities get to say that.
Exactly. And especially because I was up there once with Elizabeth in the communications department, and it's just a lot better than a lot other schools in a sense because it's newer, I believe.
Mhm. Yeah, it was just built within the last couple years, and one of
Right,
the cool things about it is that, we allowed the opportunity for students to get involved from day one. So as soon as you step in the door as a freshman, and even some students
right.
as, seniors in high school, we allowed the opportunity to hop on the air or, hop on a TV show, because we want you guys to get that full experience.
Yeah, that's definitely another reason why I chose Newman. I like that they did start first year instead of junior year like a couple other colleges I was looking at.
And that leads beautifully into my next question because I was gonna ask you what about Newman stood out to you the most?
Um, I like that it was a smaller campus. I feel like it's going to be more personalized than I would go into another larger campus. And I think that's definitely one of the major things that I liked about it, especially with it being close and I wanted to be a commuter. and I also like the colors blue and yellow and white. So
Perfect fit then, right?
I know, yeah,
And so the class size is a 14 to 1 student to professor ratio. How does
yeah,
that speak
yeah.
out to you?
Uh, I feel like it definitely helps on the anxiety side of it, not being in a class with hundreds of other students. And yeah, I definitely like that it's a 14-to-1 ratio in class size.
Have you visited the campus?
Yeah,
Beyond with Elizabeth?
no, because we had a couple planned, but then when the whole COVID-19 took into place, all of those ended up getting canceled. So yeah, I never got like an actual official tour of Neumann.
Sure. Well, when you were on, your visit with Elizabeth, what was that initial feeling when you maybe walked into the comm building or walked into through Newman Circle? What was that feeling like?
It just kind of felt right, other than because I had seen, I was also looking at Delaware County Community College and also Westchester, but I didn't get the same feel when walking into Westchester or DCCC. And it was just kind of more home, kind of.
Yeah, both of those universities are great institutions, and
Absolutely,
uh,
yeah.
and I'm sure students, excel. I have a couple friends at Westchester, and students excel from them all the time. But I
Right.
think that's the common denominator with Newman is that we hear that it feels like home for students, and I think that's what's really
Yeah.
special about
Yeah.
Newman. And then what about the communication program stood out to you? We mentioned briefly on the involvement from day one, but beyond that, what stood out about the CDM program as someone who wants to go into the music industry?
Um, I did a lot of projects with Elizabeth also because a bunch of recording projects and video projects for her class. And it always just seemed like she was creating. And I definitely am a person who likes to create things and kind of like have a project to work on. And that's some like it's just all fun to me. So that's something that definitely stood out to me with the communications.
Yeah, and we're always looking for new creative shows, sweepers, any sort of production that you
Yeah,
want to do. We're Newman Media is all ears, and we want to give you the opportunity to create.
sounds like a plan.
And we're gonna do that right now. I wanna give you a little challenge. I want you to give me your best legal ID. So a legal ID is, something that we air every hour on the hour, give or
Okay.
take 5 minutes at the hour mark, and all you're saying is the legal, ID for the station. And so most people say, "You're listening to 98.5 WNUW LP Aston." That's our legal ID. So if you wanna give your best creative legal ID or however you want to phrase it, I'm gonna give you the floor and then we're gonna put it into rotation.
You're listening to 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. Come and sit down with us.
There we go. That's what's
I don't
up.
know about you.
Just like that. There you go. You just created your first piece of legal identification for the airwaves.
There we go.
Awesome. Hey, that's kind of gonna wrap things up here. I got one final question for you though.
All right.
You said you want to work in the music industry. Do you have a sense of a dream internship or a dream job?
Um, I think I'm anywhere from like an artist manager, a tour manager, but then I've also been like, do I want to produce? And then I've also thought of the film industry, but I think I'm definitely leaning towards the music industry. Um, and I feel like I want to work at a label, but I'm not entirely sure what. So definitely like Columbia Records or anywhere along those lines would really be nice. But yeah, still kind of working it all out.
Yeah, and that's not a worry at all. You're just graduating from high school now. You got the next couple years to figure it out, and
Right,
we can't
right.
wait to help you figure that out at Newman.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I can't wait to welcome you to Newman in the fall and actually meet you in person. But until then, we're saying so long. I'm Jake Loberg alongside me, Ethan Graci, class of 2024 from Springfield, PA, and we'll see you next time on Committed.